name is Oliver Westmoreland. I'm an immigration consultant with GSN Immigration and I am an OSC Level 3 Registered Advisor. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so and click on the bell icon. Today I'm going to talk about student rules, student visas. You may have heard that in recent times there have been a lot of changes in the immigration rules, including in the student rules. I'm pleased to be able to tell you that student rules have become in some ways less onerous and easier. The student rules, briefly and basically, they enable international students or aspiring international students to come to the UK and study all kinds of interesting subjects below degree level, postgraduate level, and so on and so forth. Now, a person who is aged 16 or over may be able to apply for a student visa. They can apply to study a below bachelor's degree level course, a bachelor's degree level course, or a postgraduate course. In most cases, they can study a full-time course. In some cases, they may be able to study a part-time course. There are financial requirements. Students have to show that they've got so much money in the bank. They have to show that they have money in the bank to pay for the course and money in the bank to pay for financial maintenance. If a student applies to come to the UK, they have to show this money. However, if they are in the UK already and they've been in the UK for at least 12 months, they don't have to show any financial requirements. In that sort of way, the rules have become easier than previously. There is an English language requirement in every case, but the English language requirement is different depending on the type of course, and it's different in the way that it has to be shown. It could be a B1 level exam, it could be a B2 level exam, it could be that the university may have its own method of assessing English language. A person studying a below degree level course can only spend 2 years doing that. You can only spend a maximum of 2 years studying below degree level course. After that, if you want to carry on studying, you'd have to study something more higher level. There's another rule as well, but it's quite complicated. Bachelor's degree level courses, there is a rule that you can't spend more than 5 years studying those courses, but there are exceptions. These rules are fairly complicated. It's actually possible to spend 10 years as a student and apply for settlement on the basis of 10 years continuous lawful residence. Some people actually do that even under these rules, time limiting rules. Dependents may be able to come to apply with the student. Dependent will be partner, spouse, child under 18, depending on the level of the course. And depending on the level of the course also, a student studying a degree level course can work part-time up to 20 hours. This is very, very important. Can work part-time up to 20 hours a week, not 21 or 22, 20 hours. If you're working more than 20 hours and you're a student, you're in breach of your immigration conditions and something nasty might happen to you. But you can work up to 20 hours part-time during term time. During holidays, you can work as much as you like. You can work full-time, and when your course has finished and your visa is still hasn't yet expired, you can work full-time until such time as your visa expires. One of the very interesting and very important changes that has happened recently, the switching rules have become much less onerous. Most visa categories can switch into student leave in the UK. For example, spouse visa, partner visa, family visa, working visa. These migrants can switch into student leave in the UK. There's only a few categories such as visitor or short-term student who can't switch into student leave. So in those ways, the student rules have become less onerous, easier to understand, and less challenging. Now, of course, everything costs money. Student visas attract fees, as do most visas. The fees for student visas are relatively low, you'll be pleased to know. Applying for entry clearance from outside the UK, it's £348. Applying for leave to remain in the UK, it's £475. But of course, also there is the immigration health surcharge. Again, this is on the lower, the lower end of the scale. It's £470 per year for students, which is lower than for some other categories. Now, as well as the government fees, of course, you'll have to pay fees to your university. The mathematical calculation is slightly complicated, and it goes like this. First, you must pay your tuition fees, fairly obviously. Then you must also have money in your bank account. It doesn't matter so much if you spend it, but you must have money in your bank account. You must show that you have a certain amount of money. Here it gets a tiny bit complicated. If your university is in London, and that means Greater London, then it's higher. If your university is in Greater London, you must show that you have money equivalent to £1,334 per month, up to a maximum of 9 months. And if you're studying outside Greater London, you must show that you have money in your bank account equivalent to £1,023 per month, up to a maximum of 9 months. And another rule, you must show that you have had these monies in your bank account for 28 days. Now, if you've got kind, generous and rich parents, your parents can provide your financial maintenance. If your parents hold sufficient monies in their bank accounts and your parent kindly provides you with a letter saying that they're prepared to support you financially, then the evidence from your parents' bank account would be acceptable as financial evidence to meet the financial maintenance requirement. I must emphasise, we've said this many times, but we'll have to say it again. Now that Brexit has happened, EEA nationals get treated the same as everybody else, like everybody else all over the world. EEA nationals and Swiss nationals who want to become students in the UK, they will have to apply under the same rules and the same way as everybody else, I'm afraid. Now, of course, you might come to the UK to study a below degree level course, or perhaps a bachelor's degree level course. You might want to progress onto a higher level course. You may well be able to do this. You can extend your student leave in the UK in many kinds of situations. The main thing to remember is that when you apply to extend your student leave, you should extend it to, in most cases, to a higher level course. If you're studying a below degree level course, you might be able to extend your leave to study another below degree level course, but in many cases you might need to, or you might want to extend your leave to study a bachelor's degree level course. Similarly, if you're studying a bachelor's degree level course, you might want to extend your leave to study a master's level course, and similarly you might want to progress from a master's level course to a PhD. It's sometimes possible, as I indicated or hinted, you could extend your leave to study a course at the same level, but you would have to get agreement to this. First of all, from the Home Office and also from your university, because the Home Office doesn't necessarily like people extending their leave to study courses at the same level. It's not completely against the rules, but it's more difficult to convince the Home Office that this is a suitable or appropriate application. Mostly the Home Office wants to see people increasing their level, but if you can give good reasons as to why a course at the same level is going to be helpful to you in your career aspirations, it may be possible. You can't really go down. You can't go down from degree level to below degree level and so on. You can go up, most definitely. You may be able to go along. Most people probably, I think, they apply to go to a higher level course. This is what the Home Office is mostly happy with. Now, I have another really good piece of news. I suppose you might have heard already. The Home Office is introducing, or perhaps I should say more accurately, reintroducing a graduate visa, as it will be called. We understand that this is going to happen on the 1st of July 2021. Those of you with long memories might remember the post-study work visa, which was abolished by the Home Office a few years ago. The Home Office is now re-establishing this kind of route. It's going to be called the graduate visa. A student in the UK who has graduated will be able to apply for this visa. This visa will be granted for either 2 or 3 years. If it's on the basis of bachelor's or master's degree, 2 years. If it's on the basis of a doctorate, for 3 years. Now, I can't go into great complexity about this at the moment, not because I'm unwilling, but because the rules have not yet been published. But we assume that the rules are going to be published very soon. As soon as the rules are published, we will be doing a new video on this subject. Thank you for watching part 1 of our video about student visas. In part 2, we're going to be answering some of your questions on this subject.